Sovis is going to be helping us with the translation. Kudos, and we express our gratitude on that. On that note, we'd like to leave it in the able hands of our moderator to take it forward.
Thank you so much for that, and it's such a pleasure being here, and all compliments to MEWA India 2025, second edition, and it's already become so big. We really look forward to on what it would do in years to come. And when we talk about dates, dates mean different things to different people. It's culture, it's health, it's nutrition, it's food, and it really is growing. India is a big market and growing pretty fast as well. And what we have on panel right now is clearly the leadership when it comes to date. You have Oman, Israel, Iran, UAE, and India. India does import from all of these countries, and we've seen numbers grow, we've seen perceptions change, we've also seen more premium quantity and quality come into India as well. So first thing that I want to ask all of you really is about on what you bring to India, what is it that you do, and where do you see the date market, where it has grown from last 5 years to where we stand right now. And Yusuf, since you're sitting next to me, why don't we start with you?
Thank you, Manisha, and thanks, MEWA, for having us here at this beautiful event. With regards to India, overall for the date fruit category, India is a major market. It is the single largest consumer of this commodity. And for specifically the UAE industry as well, it is a market where most of their raw material or the commodity as a date comes to. So it is an integral part of our industry, and now it's moved from your original, your traditional whole date to more processed derivatives, which is also being taken up by the industry here across the country.
So while you do a lot of derivatives and you do palm ingredients, do talk to us about the overall market of that globally, and then where does India fit in?
So from an ingredients point of view, it's starting to grow up now. The whole ingredients movement started heavily from the western side of the world, even though dates are predominantly consumed in the east. But now it's picking up and becoming a common ingredient in a lot of snacks and products by manufacturers, large and small, because consumers see the value in date-based ingredients, the health benefits, and also the cost compared to a lot of other ingredients that are in the market. So year on year, we are seeing growth, and pretty steep growth, and it's only expected to grow like this in the coming years ahead.
Yusuf, I also want to understand on what last 5 years have been for you in sense of business.
5 years seems like a very long time. It's a lot has changed.
You've been in this business for how long?
15.
5 years is not too long then.
It's the last 12 months has felt like 10 years. No,
Wait for what next 12 months look like with tariffs and currency moves and volatility and etc.
Oh, you touch a very interesting point. Post-COVID, things changed a lot I think generally across most commodity industries, but even for the dates industry, you've had problems from shipping, accessibility, logistics, even consumer trends have changed. So from a business point of view, 2020 onwards, business has grown multiple fold. Overall, the growth rate increased a lot, and that was because of the whole awareness that dates can now be used as an alternate sweetener, right? This entire thing of sugar is bad for you picked up heavily post-COVID. And we've definitely been riding that wave, especially on the ingredient part. But then again, you've had logistics issues. You have tariff issues. We're now being threatened by a certain country that's saying, well, we charge you 10% for imports. So it's every day is a new day today, I guess.
Oh, it is. Yanif, to you then, and I was talking to you earlier, and you were telling me you have 21,000 producers working with you. How has life been for you? What are your production numbers? What are the challenges that you see right now?
All right. So first of all, thank you very much for having us here. It's a pleasure to be among this group of people. I come from Israel. Israel is a very small country. Compared to my colleagues here, we are producing only 70,000 tons of dates in general. Majority of it, I say 90% of it, is medjool, the medjool variety. We consider that to be the king of dates because it's the biggest date. There's a lot of moisture into it. The eating quality is very good. For us, the Indian market is not our biggest market, but it's our most developed market and fast-growing market as we go over the years. When I started in Adiklaim, we sold here in this market only 35 tons per year. This year we do 20 times more than that, and it's fast-growing. The key for that is mainly the quality of the product. I would say that this market here is the only market of our company or the Israeli dates that takes only the premium quality. They don't take the second, not the third, and whatsoever. So for us, it's a very unique market. It's transformed from a bulk commodity, not from a jewel, but of dates, bulk commodity, into a branded, repacked, modern trade, and we see it growing from year to year. And we expect that to continue over the years.
You know, we were talking earlier, we were all huddled together and we were talking about how many varieties of dates there really are, 300, 400?
There are many varieties of dates, 300, yes. Not all of them are being shipped from one country to the other or exported. In Israel, we produce 9 varieties in total, but as I was saying, 60,000 tons out of the 70 is Mijul.
How important is India as a market for you? I mean, you said the numbers are just growing, it's the fastest growing.
It's the fastest growing market for us. And again, it's the only market that takes only the premium quality. So for us, it's very unique. We would like it to keep it this way. We send the product here on bulk, and it's being repacked here and taking a very good selection of the quality. And that's the reason we see it growing. And also we see the modern trade is becoming more and more into the business of dates, and more people are buying it, and we see a great potential in this market. And if I'm sure we're going to talk about it, the consumption per capita that has a lot of potential compared to other countries.
Well, yes, that's my next round of questions, really. And Ajay, I'll come to you the last. We'll talk to our guests first, and Abdullah, to you. Oman, Abdullah's from Oman, and one of the major exporters as well of dates to India. If you can narrate to us on what the business is like, how important is India for you, and what do you bring to the table?
First of all, thank you, MEWA committee, for organizing such event, and thank you also for inviting us to present Oman in this event. First of all, I would like to say that our country start exchanging dates with India. I mean, our grandfather start exchanging dates with India with spices. So our grandfather brought dates to India and then take back the spices. Right now, we as Nakhil Oman, we are targeting the India market through Kandur's company. And we are targeting 3 different categories. One of them is a table dates consumer. And also we are targeting the confectionaries, the new generations, which is date truffles, date snacks, and all of these. As well as we are targeting the manufacturer for sugar replacement, which is like a date syrup, date sugar, date liquid sugar, and dates powder as well, date paste as well. So, India, we are exporting to 17 countries right now. India is the largest importer of dates from Nakhil Oman. Well, I see that there is a big opportunities. According to the worldwide informations that, by the way, we are the largest individual consumer of dates per year, per individual. So in Oman, the individual consumption is 83 kgs, while here in India is 50 grams per individual. So just imagine if we just increase it from 50 grams to 500 grams. So then there is a huge opportunity to fulfill this requirement. Yep.
I just want to repeat that, and this is the second time I'm hearing this in the day, but we just eat 50 grams of dates in a year, and they eat 83 kgs in a year. I mean, how stark a number that is there. But do you see India improving that demand going forward? And if India does see an improvement in demand, is there enough dates in the world?
The demand in India is improving, and as I told you, it is improving in different category, not only in table dates, as well as in the confectionaries, as well as in the sugar replacement as a functional ingredient for the downstream manufacturers. So while about the enough dates, no, I believe still there is a bigger project is ongoing in Saudi Arabia, as well as in Egypt, as well as we have also in Oman, bigger project is plantation or growing dates palm. We ourselves, we do have 11 farms. We have planted 500,000 trees in those farms. So this is only to fulfill the demand, the global, and one of the most important or demanded country is in India, of course. China also is nowadays is demanding. Most of the Middle East, I mean Asian, Middle Asian countries are in a big demand in the coming years.
Thank you for that. Mahmood, let me come to you. And, you know, I was being told as I got into this hall that every time if there was a cashew event happening or a cashew session happening, there was cashew on tables. If it was figs session happening, there were figs on tables. I do hope you have dates on those tables right now, because that's exactly what the themes are all about. Mahmood, coming to you then. First thing, Kimia Gold clearly seems to be doing quite well. How would you start off by saying on what you do and what does India as a market mean for you?
First of all, I just want to thank you for the arrangement that's being held. We started, I think, within the last 7 years, we are just focusing on the packaging, which we saw the lack of the packaging of Iranian goods coming to India. We're focusing on the packaging at the moment, so I think the demand was very nice, and the reflection also in the market was very nice in India during the 5 years ago. So if I want to focus on something as a positive point, I have to say packaging.
And how important would you say is India as a market? How do you see growth in India in sense of demand?
India is one of the most attractive market for us. We have too many, attractive things for the India to come. People are growing too much economically, so we know that we can have a very good share in the market. So we are changing from the European market from the last 5 years to Indian market. We have too many competitive advantage with the Indian market as well. So we are focusing on that, and we are keep continue.
All right, that's good to know. So almost everybody is talking about India, and they expect the demand to grow from here. Ajay, let's talk to you then. And I want to first come up with that 50-gram demand number. With the kind of growth that we've seen in India, what would you say, what is the date demand growing for last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And if that keeps up, what are the numbers that we're looking at the end of next 5 years?
First of all, thank you, NDFC, for this opportunity. And I think I'll just talk about the goal first, the objective. Ideally, India in the next 5 years should be the most important country for all of them. Yeah, I think that should be the objective. And to facilitate that, there are partners, there are retailer partners sitting here, there are distributor partners, and there are importer friends, who are now finally concentrating on this category. Because traditionally, dates has been very unorganized in India. And I think from the past 2 decades, with obviously their support, we are getting into the organized sector, and hopefully in the next 3 years' time, we should be consuming at least 100 grams. For sure, at least 100 grams. Yeah, that should be the per capita. So I hope you have enough trees. You've planted enough trees for that.
Well, I hope you
That
have
goes
enough
to all
dates
of
for us
you.
then.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, and I think the growth that we are seeing on a category level is anywhere between I think 15 to 18%. If I talk particularly about canned foods, canned dates on a group level, in the past 4 to 5 years, I think we've grown almost what do you say? We've grown by almost 150%, especially where dates is concerned. I'm not considering all the other categories that we deal in.
So Ajay, when
Yeah.
we talk about dates itself, and since you are expecting such a big increase, where is this coming in from? Do you see premium dates, the retail category? There's so much that's selling via quick commerce and e-commerce, etc. How is this? How are these dates getting into the market?
Well, it's an omni-channel thing that we follow. So whether it's quick commerce, e-commerce, offline, every channel, even modern trade, I think they all play a very vital role in catering to the demand of the end consumer. And I think what we are heading towards is premiumization of this category, which is, I think, very important. So yeah, and the benefits of dates. I think there is little amount of education happening. I wouldn't say that a lot of education is happening. I think what is missing, and maybe my esteemed panelists here, they would help us in. This is a problem statement actually, that there is no marketing board supporting this category. As compared to so many marketing boards supporting other categories. There is an almond, there's a pistachio board, there's a walnut board, but maybe there is a date marketing
With
board,
all you guys
but it's
sitting
not
here, why
active.
not create one right away?
Why not? I mean, why not? We should. I mean, we should. That is, I think that's the only way wherein, we can educate our, fellow retailers and finally the education should trickle down to the end consumer as well. So the potential is huge, considering the population of India.
Well, that's a big thing, really, because India's population, one, is growing, the younger population is growing, standard of living is growing, there's more spend that's coming into the markets, and healthy foods clearly are on a rise. So as everybody said, dates is a natural sugar. It's finding its way in replacement of sugar on various ways there. Now, let me come to all of you, asking you that one challenge that you see coming in, whether it's about production, changing global environment. Let's start with you again. And how would you also look at a solution for that?
With regards to the challenges in the dates industry, I think, are we talking specifically India or globally?
Globally and India, if you could basically put 2 marks there.
With regards to dates, there's regulation. There's an understanding of regulation that we are struggling with every now and then. Now, dates, take India, for example. When we import dates into India, sometimes the Indian authorities have their own rules in terms of phytosanitary certificates, certifications, health stuff, etc. And the guys on our side don't see eye to eye on that. And that causes a bit of a hiccup for us on a trading level. These are things that we're ironing out, but there are speed bumps along the way. And then another thing that we were speaking earlier is the whole pesticide story, right? This is now starting to come up. Irresponsible farming is starting to be noticed, and the whole idea of just farm and get as much as you can using all sorts of insecticides, pesticides is now becoming an issue, especially in the Western world. And whatever we've seen, those trends do come east. So farmers need to look into this more. Regulatory authorities are going in deep. Even organic products. Previously, it was very easy to sell organic products across the country. Today, you need your paperwork in line. You need, and it's not only the certificates anymore. It's inspections being done at ports of entries, and customers do it themselves, which is also good. It's protecting the consumer, and it makes it a fair playing field. So I'm very pro for this. Because then it keeps out the unfair practices, and there will always be in every industry suppliers who will try to manipulate and take advantage of these loopholes.
All right. So government policies and pesticides is an issue, is a challenge. What, according to you, is a challenge? If you want to add to this.
Yes, I would like to add to that. I would like to talk about two things. First is the shifting from selling into marketing. And I think that's what created the change, at least for Hadik Laim and King Solomon in India. So selling is very simple. You bring the product, you sell it. Marketing is quite complex. It has a lot of knowledge into it. It's pricing, it's branding, it's promoting, and these are the things that are done. This is number one. And the second challenge is also a worldwide challenge for my company, is to transform the dates from a dried fruit into a snack. Once it's considered as a snack, it competes in a much, much bigger arena. Like if we compete with chocolate, we're competing with the billions of dollars market. And if you take a small bite out of that, it's enough for all of us. And that's the key. And I believe that will be appealing for new and younger audience, at least as far as we're concerned. This is part of our strategy to approach new audiences and create more demand so the supply will be able to follow without dropping the price, which is our incentive as well.
Well, absolutely. How you sell dates is important, yes. Ajay, what would you say? I'll come to you. I know you're doing chocolates and dates together, so you actually have found that. I will come to you, but Ajay, you first.
I think let him speak.
I would like to add that people still imagining that dates is being processed traditionally. Nowadays, the dates processing technology is going up. So, and we have noticed that even the new generation, they did not take care of dates. So what we did in our facility, we do have a visitor corridors. This is part of the marketing. So we tell people how to process dates. We have introduced the fumigation, sorting, optical machine that sort dates according to size, according to colors, and then washing, drying, and packaging, as well as those, I mean, like a visitor corridor. So they see all the process. So they know now, when they pay these such dollars for that kg, so they know where it's worthy or not, because it's being processed, I mean, in the, so the mentality changed. The people, they say, the culture, they still build that it is being treated traditionally, no fumigation, no washing, nothing, but a new of steps being introduced over there. So this is one of the challenge, but we are overcoming this challenge by introducing the visitor corridor so they can see all the process. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So Abdullah, add on to this, because we are told eat it natural, don't eat processed food.
See, when I say we process dates, we are not adding anything, okay? We just, we are a manufacturers. The fruit, the trees itself, even there is a good agricultural practices, it will not give you a uniform size. And there is also one criteria of quality check is the the crust or the skin separation from the meat itself, okay? So this is when I say a process is a process of grading. So we are not adding anything. Some of the variety, even we did not wash it. We brush it only to be more shiny also, because some of the variety are very sensitive to the water and to be dry. So when I say process, we are not adding anything at all. We keep it natural as it is, nothing to be added, 100% natural. And that's why we also, in the visitor corridor, we keep it a glass open so they can see what we are doing there. So we are not adding anything at all during the entire process.
Yep. Mahmoud, to you then, what is a challenge that you see within the trade?
Okay. If I want to point three major points. First will be the traditional farming in Iran. This is one of the biggest issues that we have to do something about that. The second thing is the water and irrigation. We need to improve our irrigation systems. If we want to be at the market with a good price and with the continuous quality in the market, we have to do something about that. And the third thing maybe should be storage. We need to improve our storage system. This is very important. If you plan for a big exporting, you need to have a big facilities for storage. This is the three issues we can mention for the Iranian dates. This is something that we are doing by ourselves as we can. But this kind of things need the government protect. So if I want to back to the governments, we need government of Iran to do these facilities for the farmers, for the water and for the storaging, and also the traditional farming also.
I'm just very inquisitive right now at this point. I want to know how the date industry eats its date. How do you eat a date? Raw, the way it is, as a snack, as table date, as sauce, as powder?
As a date, I would say I'm one of those purists. I'll take a date as it is with the seed inside.
I eat it first day in the morning with my coffee, with some almonds or walnuts.
I eat it as processed food. And now I'm coming back to your earlier question when you said that, why to have processed food? When we say processed, no, it's not natural, but it's clean label. Because dates as an ingredient adds the required sweetness and sugar to the product without adding any kind of sugar to it. So that's the answer to your processed food.
Well, we, as the largest individual consumer, so we eat dates at the morning, at
You ate 3
lunchtime,
kgs
dinner
of
time,
dates.
every time. Really, this is true. This is true. In each meal, we have to. I mean, dates should be there in every house. Yes, really. But the new generation, they only love beat it, single pouch it, or dates travels, or date syrup only. So they did not. That's why this is the new generation. That's why we have created this new category to target those where we see they are not in interest on this.
In each part of the Iran, people eating the dates differently, really. So some of the people take it mostly raw in Iran. But now the chocolate dates is very famous all over the world. So I think this is also added to the basket at the moment. But in Iran, we are mostly take it, at the raw condition. We are more likely to do that.
All right. Well, moving on then, and let's ask our date guys on how do they plan or strategize or envision the next 5 years of their businesses.
Well, firstly, we need to tell the Omanis to stop eating so many dates, because then we're going to run out. I'm just pulling your leg, Abdullah.
The Omani wants to say something.
No. Please go ahead.
You'll get your
You picked
turn.
up the mic, so...
It's everywhere around the world, the consumption is growing, right? And we ourselves internally have a mandate to grow our numbers double. So the Indian market is a very significant part for us. So there is no option. And we can see it already in the last couple of years, the growth is just growing on and on. So for the next 5 years, the market's going to double, triple. The room is there. In terms of volumes, around us in the Middle East, there's about 5.5 million tons. So there's more than enough. But then there is the issue of certain varieties. There are certain varieties that go high in demand. Everyone looks at that. Everyone wants that. In the few years that I've been working in the family business, I've seen varieties become heroes and then die really fast. So it's a wave. And the number of varieties are huge. I know I read somewhere recently that Saudi Arabia alone has around 412 varieties of dates. Obviously, not all are commercially traded. The UAE's got about 200. So the varieties are huge, and planting is growing as well at a very high speed. All the countries, including the UAE, Saudi, Oman, the guys around us, they are, even though we say we have a lot of varieties, certain varieties, because of their commercial acceptance, are being grown heavily, governments are pushing it, and the entire industry is growing as a whole.
So in the next 5 years, you see the market growing, you see the production growing double, you said?
Double, triple. I think double is very conservative.
Okay.
Yes, I share the same thought as my colleague Yusuf, at least double or triple. And I think the main way to do it,
Are we in some kind of a deficit right now, or is the demand meeting supply? If we are looking to double production, is the consumption growing at the same speed?
We can divert from other markets to this market. Obviously, we sell in 45 countries. Not all the markets are good markets. Not all the markets are increasing. Some of them are decreasing for various reasons. As a matter of fact, the way that I see it, the way that it could happen is that we will give the end consumer more and more opportunities to buy. So if you'll go next to the cashier, you will find the dates. If you go to the dried fruit section, you'll find the dates. If you go to the snacking, you will find the dates. So that's the idea behind it, and I think that's the way to go. And it will go through branding and quality, and this is the key factor for any success.
Amazing, very well said.
So I guess they will have to double their capacity or triple their capacity, because I think we are also planning to move from 50 grams to 150 grams in the next 2 years. So, and I think that can happen, it can fast track only if we get a medium. The kind of work that one of the four largest companies in the world in dates, and they all have brands attached to them. The kind of money they spend, on the category, the infra, the technology that they have. How do we explain to our retailers, to our consumers, how do we take that information forward? So there has to be a medium for the consumption to increase, and it cannot happen without awareness, that's for sure.
Well, I'm in the same expectation that the demand, will goes up, but also I would like to highlight one important point, that even the demand is going well because we have also to monitor the resource, the water, which is highlighted. So we advise all the growers to use the technology, the irrigation system, because it's idea, yes, to fulfill the demand, but also to have a sustainable farm that able to produce. And also is very important to take care that of the growers, they did not use extra dose of pesticide, as Mr. Yusuf said, that this is a very important issue, that pesticides remains in the fruit, and this is considered as a super fresh fruit dates. So we should all together, so we should stop those growers who use extra dose on this. So yes, demand is there, and I believe according to the worldwide statistics that now the produced amount of dates is about 8 million tons, something like this. But the tradable one is about 2 million, something like this. These figures need to be checked here and there. So the remain is being consumed on the produced country itself. So demand is there, but we have to be very careful about the resources in order to meet this demand.
So with 1.3 million tons production, Iran now is the second place of the production in the world. So we have the capacity to increase our portion in Indian market. This is two goals we are looking after that. First is the company's goal for the MEWA goal, and this is a national goal as well. So we can see at the next 5 years, we have the opportunity to increase exporting to India. We have some advantage. The distance is the biggest advantage as already we have. It's only 2-3 days with the vessel. So we have a big advantage of the distance. And the culture also. We have a good culture. We have a good friends here in India. So totally we can see that within the next 5 years, there is a good opportunity for us, not only for Kimia Gold, but for the Iranian dates to capture more capacity of the Indian market. And this will be also, yeah, we are doing our best really. Not only us, but the dates organization in Iran also have some focus on that. So hopefully we can do that very soon, inshallah.
Well, thank you for that. Now we've spoken about next 5 years, but important to understand that since we are at this event here, and this event is going to happen next year again, so if there was something that you would want the Indian government to do, or if you would want the organizers to take your queries or your feedback or your suggestions to the government or the policymakers, what is that one thing that you would want, where you would want to see a change for India?
Sorry, I'll go with the tariff, with the duty. We have a very high duty for the product to come here. This is number one. Number two is the organic, very high regulation demands to get the product into this country. And once that bottleneck will be wider, I think the potential is there and it will happen.
So specifically for us, talking about the UAE, as you know, a couple of years ago, the UAE entered into a duty-free agreement, a CEPA agreement with India. And all of a sudden, UAE was exporting X quantity of product to India. Immediately, this went to X times 100. And we all know why this happened, but there has to be some level of control there on both sides to protect manufacturers like ourselves, processors like ourselves, who are playing within the rules. But if we're not, then we lose out on that potential, that advantage that we're getting because of the CEPA agreement. I know the CEPA agreements are going to expand across the countries, but until then, there has to be some control. And because of that, this, everyone is now getting labeled as negative, and everyone's being scrutinized. So this needs to be looked into.
All right. Long-term policies, tariffs is an issue.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think with the CEPA agreement with UAE, it's a good move, and certain commodities have come down to 0% duty. Ideally, that should be the case with all the countries. Otherwise, if it's only with UAE, the organized sector becomes more strong. I think that's the whole sole reason for the creation of I think Oman is also, I mean, the government is in talks with Oman for FTA. I think they should be talking to the entire GCC and Israel, Jordan, Palestine, Egypt as well. So yeah, it should go down to, ideally it should go down to zero with all the countries. Yeah.
Wishful, but let's hope that
Wishful,
happens.
yeah, long shot, but still, there's a hope.
Well, I would like to wish that I would like to see a change in the Indian culture, because right now they are only get attracted to the darker varieties, either Fard or Khanezi. I would like to wish to try other varieties, not only Omani varieties. We have a lot of, like in Saudi, we do have a lot of, let's say, golden variety. Let's say golden variety. So this culture, I mean, we wish to see that there is a lot of good varieties, and all of the dates are rich in vitamins, I mean, fibers, all of this. So I mean, and we are speaking about the demand. There is a demand upcoming. So this is not to be covered only from the dark varieties. So we wish that the Indian market also looking into those golden varieties like khalas, like other variety. Yes.
what we want from your government.
Yeah, what do you want in the next 1 year? You have a wish that you could
No,
put out.
we need something for your government. Two issues we have seriously with your government. First, we want the equity of the tariffs between the countries. Now we have UAE with a zero tariff. We have in Iran, I'm not sure about the other countries, but I'm sorry about that. But now I think we are paying more than 34, 35% for the tariff, which is, it's better to do something for the equity, And the second thing is we need the protection of our brands here in India. Lots of the copy coming to the market and ruin us the market. We cannot do anything against them. Even any legal action we cannot take. So what we need from the Indian government to protect all of the things that we've done for your market is very important. And this is good for your customers as well, because they can take the better quality. No, we do too much inspections, quality controls, this and that, and this and that. And within a click, they can make it even cheaper than us. So the tariff and the protection of our brands is what we need from your government.
I just would like to thank you for mentioning that, because we have the same situation as well with the fake branding. The thing is, when you have a brand and the brand is well known and the quality is there, so you get more competition, number one, and a lot of fake branding and fake packages of our brand is in the country. I think India is we have the most of this
very
phenomena.
India specific?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. We don't see it in other countries. Not as much, let's say it like that. And this is something that we really would like to be enforced in a good way.
All right, so that, of course, is a list on what really that our panelists wish can change in the next 1 year. Since we have so much sound and music coming in from that side, let's make it slightly more creative before we end this. And if you have a couple of questions, we can take that as well. But before that, I want to go to each one of them. They've been talking about branding and marketing and creating a perception here, and that's exactly what every brand has done. Even diamonds had to do that with saying diamonds are forever. If you wanted to sell millets, you had to say it's gluten-free. If you wanted to have protein, there are so many products that were put out there. So when we are talking dates, and if you had to give out a pitch line, brand it, market it, sell it, what would that be? Eat it because it's high in iron.
Let's have a date. Short and sweet.
Cliche.
Yes, I'll have from the palm tree to the palm of your hand.
I'll just add one word to Yusuf's line. Let's have a date every day.
Let's have 2 dates.
Let's have...
I will pass it to them. I am not a marketing.
That's exactly what I said. You have to start get your creatives juices higher. So
Can I know your question
you have to
once
sell your
again?
date. I'm sure you speak to so many people around all the time. So how do you sell it? What's that one line, one punch line?
فرض.
Can I know your question once again? I didn't understand. What was the question?
My question is, if you had to give a tagline to sell Kimia Gold, what is that tagline? What is your branding there? How would you sell it?
We have a good friends over the India.
You're eating it all on the tables there.
This is the positive point that we already have. So we are trusting our partners. This is the biggest favor that the partner is doing for us. That's the real job.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And I guess we have a question there. Can we have a mic sent there, please? Or should I give you mine? Anybody else has a tagline to sell dates here? Yes.
Can we just get the mic, please, to Vijeta? Yeah, just for the camera feed, Vijeta.
Find your date.
Find your date. So we have this coming up. If you have something more innovative to tell us, these guys are ready to take it. Sorry? Dates are forever. Chemia is gold. That's your tagline. Ah. And I get royalty because I started this. Yes, please. Sorry.
Hi, Manisha. Big fan of yours. I got 2, 3 questions. One is that how difficult is it to brand a commodity? You know, this is about 80-90% is probably unbranded. Secondly, what are the USPs? Like if you're packing medjool, so why should I buy medjool of Oman or why not Israel or whatever?